Yolanda is going to present the project number 1 from the Humorously Speaking manual. The objective of this speech is to prepare a speech that opens with a humorous story. Personalize the story and deliver the story smoothly and effectively. The time is 5 to 7 minutes and the title is Technology Upgrades. Technology Upgrades, Yolanda.
Fellow Toastmasters, I came to work a Monday after one of these weekends made in China. I say made in China because they don't last long. I was walking with my co-workers and some of them says, Apple 8 is out. Have you guys done the last software update? And I just shake my hand. No, I haven't. And he said, oh, it's so good. I like the new features. Especially when you press the button, the home button. You don't have to keep pressing it like in the past to finally open the cell phone. So that's amazing. Well, we keep talking and I was talking in my mind like, I need to do this upgrade. I really need to see what is the good thing about this new Apple software update. I went home and after dinner, I did what Apple says. You have to plug it in, make sure that you have more than 50% of the battery, you have your wireless accesses, and just go to your settings and press software updates. Sure enough, I went there. I was so excited. Don't even think a minute. I have to do this. I open it, I press install, just click, no break. Start waiting and waiting. It was around probably like 7. It was 10 p.m. and this keep things going on. And I said, like, man, that must be a lot of goods upgrades. That is taking so long. Well, finally around 10:30, it finishes. Wow, now I'm gonna be able to see what is amazing about new software updates. The first thing, if you're familiar with Apple, when you do a major upgrade, it asks which language? English. Next, it's asking me for your Apple iTunes user ID and password. Ooh. I forgot that. What is my user ID? I know my user ID. I don't know my password. Why I forgot my password? Well, typically, I used to use my iCloud to see where my son was, but when they become teenagers, it's the other way around. They were looking where I was to see how much trouble he could get before I get home. Since I discovered that, I say, I need to change my password. So sure, I did it. But we have too many passwords. So I say, why should I stress my brain memorizing all that? I just bought an application in my iPhone to store all my life. All my passwords are in there. So I didn't remember my password, so I say, let's skip this. Let's jump into my iPhone. I will go to my application and I will find it. Well, I went to the next step. I clicked my application. The application didn't open a message that says, this application is no longer supported by Apple. Contact your developer. Talking about like 11 p.m. and I scratched my head. I was getting already stressed out and I said, you know what? Maybe when you do updates, you have to it's user error. Let's turn it off, turn it on, and it's gonna work. I did it, didn't work. Click again, no, didn't work. I said, I better go to sleep. Tomorrow will be another day. I will figure it out. Next day, I came to work and I was thinking, well, my cell phone, we became so dependent on the cell phone. I feel that half of my life is dead because my cell phone is not really working fine. So I said, well, what should I do? And then I say, well, let's contact the developer. Let's find out what they have to say about this application. And then I remember, I have seen previous this update, something that popped up in this application that says this is no longer gonna be supported under the new version, but it's still working, so I never figured out why. And then I say, now I know why. Well, let's see. So I say, okay, well, this is the name of the application. I Google it and I say, I'm gonna find my developer. It was one of these little applications when the Apples came into the market that everybody got crazy and created applications and they forgot. I believe Apple, and then I Googled, Apple, what are you, like troubleshooting for all these things? And they say, basically I found an article that says they did like a cleansing of like 500 applications that people created since 2013 that they were unsupported, so they just kind of like brush it out and say you're no longer supported by Apple. And say, okay, let's look, who is the developer? I couldn't find it. So I say, maybe it was so tiny, I said, well, I guess I have to go to plan B. First thing, let's reset my Apple user ID. So I did it. And after that, I spent, before I do that, I said, well, what else can I do? What else Apple is recommending? And they said, well, you can restore your backup so you can go back to your previous data. Well, last night I was so excited, I forgot to back up my iPhone. Well, let's look. When I look, my previous backup was in May, and we're at October. No solution. So that's why I decided to restart my user ID, my password, and then I start to scratch my brain and trying to remember, and I think at this point I probably remember 80%. I start to reset passwords and go back to I bought another different application, more reliable, that I know that is in a serious company, and I know that this is not the way to go. Fellow Toastmasters, technology upgrades has some challenges. Couple things to take away. First, weekends really are not made in China. Second one, anytime that you're gonna do any technology upgrades, make sure that you back up your stuff before that. And third, don't get so crazy believing what people say that upgrades gonna do for you.